So today we are here with a special guest and connected with Levi Blue. And today we are talking with
Brenda Blue.
And how are you related to Levi?
I'm his mother.
And how many years have you been his mother?
28 years.
Okay. So in that 28 years, did you find something amazing about those 28 years?
Every single day.
Okay. So I would kind of like to take you back a few years before you became Levi's mother. And even before you became a mother, when you were a young child, what do you remember about wanting to be a mother?
Well, at a very young age, I lost my mother. So I basically stepped into the role as being a mother for the other siblings.
And how old were you?
I was 13.
Is there someone who took the time to ask you if you were fine? Who you ain't alone. Just be strong, you feel kicked in your head. You gotta keep moving on. I mean, you got this far, you came a long way. You still got gas in the tank, you still got days ahead of you. Those miles mean wisdom. Yeah, those miles mean wisdom.
But I always knew I wanted to be a mother.
And what did it mean to be a mother?
Love, unconditional.
So how did you feel when you found out you were pregnant with Levi? And how old were you?
I was 30 years old, and my husband and I had decided we weren't going to have any more children, so I was actually in shock because I had been sick for about a week. And then I found out that I was expecting a little one. So
You seem a little nervous now, so I can only imagine. What was it like then?
Well, my sisters and my sister-in-law were all trying to get pregnant, and I was the only one that wasn't, and I was the first one that got pregnant, so there was 4 of us that was pregnant at the same time.
So that kind of comes to my next thought I wanted to ask you, which is, how did your family or siblings of his feel about you being pregnant at 30?
Well, I felt like everybody was happy for us because they were looking for me to have a girl. I already had 3 sons. And the church was excited. I was having another baby, and they thought I'd have a girl too. But, of course, I didn't. I had another boy. That was God's plan.
So what sets Levi apart from his other siblings?
Every child is different in their own way.
So when you say that was God's plan, what else do you think was his plan as far as naming him, or how did you come up with that?
I came up with the name. You know, we were involved in church, and I was reading the Bible, and the Bible talks about Matthew's surname was Levi, and I just thought that was so interesting. I went to my husband and shared the book of Matthew with him, how his name was Levi, and he was a wealthy man, and I just really loved the name. My husband loved it too, and that was actually the first name we'd actually agreed upon right off the bat through this pregnancy.
Okay. Well, let's think about what do you think, this is some of the other questions, as far as Joseph. Where did Joseph come from?
Well, it's a Bible name too. We were trying to decide whether we were going to name him Joseph for the middle name or Jacob, and we were kind of torn between the two. And there really wasn't any rhyme or reason. We just felt like that it really actually went well with Levi. So that's what we decided.
And so was he proud to say, that's my boy?
Absolutely. He was
Okay.
proud of all 4 of his sons.
Do you ever have the concern of him wandering off in a store, or him getting lost, or anything like that?
No, he was my clingy child. So we just had a really good bond.
What is the best thing you can remember that you did together?
Well, me and him went to a lot of movies together, and we laughed a lot together. Whether it was a funny movie or whether it was a scary movie. And we did movies pretty much every weekend. One weekend was his weekend, the next weekend would be my weekend to pick which movie. And we had a really good time.
And that's one thing he loves now, is movies.
Yes,
and things like
he still
that.
does, yes.
Okay. So what is something you think that, because his taste is like documentaries or true stories and things like that, what do you think gives him the desire of that versus all the, you know, ninja fighting movies or, you know, action and things like that? What draws him to the real?
Well, you know, he likes all types of music. He likes all types of movies, pardon me. But I believe he's curious and he just wants to learn. That's what I see.
Is that something he's always liked to do, is learn new things
Yes.
and try new things?
Yes.
Okay. So do you think that's kind of a passion that he's had since he was little, or just when he got older?
Since he was little.
Okay. So you say that he grew up in a home that went to church. When do you think he really flourished in his own view of God and church, and when you found out he got saved, like, what were your thoughts?
I think he was about 10 or 12 years old, something like that one. And he could probably tell you the exact age. But he actually went to my mother, which is his grandmother, and shared with her, you know, his thoughts and his feelings. And he actually that day got saved.
So
With his
when
grandmother.
he became drawn in with Christ at that age, so I'm sure that speaks volumes for the relationship with his grandma.
Yes.
And is that grandma on his dad's
I always
side?
knew he
No,
was
on my side.
special.
She's actually my
He was
stepmom.
a happy baby,
What about
a
with his
happy little
grandpa?
boy.
Was he close to him?
You know,
Yeah.
he was. Oh yeah. You know, he loved people. You know, he was always interested in listening to people, and you know, he enjoyed going to church and stuff. So,
So with him at that age, around what time did his dad die?
I don't think Levi was a teenager yet. I can't remember the exact age he was.
What you know about the struggle I'm about? I'm a brother of the same,
He was
same.
close to his
What
dad.
you know
He
about the
spent
struggle
more
I'm
time
about?
with his dad.
I'm a brother of the same,
The latter part of his dad's
What
life
you know
than
about
the
the
other
struggle
boys.
I'm about? I'm a brother of the same, same. What you know about the struggle I'm about? I'm a brother of the same, same. What you know about the struggle I'm about? I'm a brother of the same, same. What you know about the struggle I'm about? I'm a brother of the same, same. What you know about the struggle I'm about? I'm a brother of the same, same. What you know about the struggle I'm about?
So when he first started rapping and came out with his CDs, and you heard what he was rapping about, did it sound similar to what he was listening to as far as the language or what he was rapping about?
When he
Like when his first CD came out, because there was cussing in that one, and there was, you know, the stories that he was telling. Did
Yeah.
you have concerns with that?
by then
Well,
he was old enough to make his
I
own.
di-
His
I've
own
never really
decision,
had concerns, but I didn't
and
care for it. I don't know.
I know that kind of sound, you know, but
don't think
I
it
just
would
figured
matter.
it was a phase and it would fade out.
I was sitting on E, it's the first of the week. No food in my belly, get gas and go eat. 5 in my pocket, but it stayed out east. Problems in my house, brother thugging in the streets. Riding with my kinfolk, four fish the studio. Trying to make some music, but them boys keep playing, bro. I ain't mad, I ain't tripping, no. Them my brothers, but I got a new bitch.
So how did you handle that when he was going through his stages of not doing the things that he is in now? Meaning when he was living in the secular world.
What was the question?
How did you handle when he was doing things he, like hang
So
out
what
with
do you
people he
think
shouldn't
about
be,
when he
or
came to you and
go into
said,
places
"Mom,
he
I'm
shouldn't
gonna
be
be this
going.
rap artist, I'm gonna be a
Rebellious stage,
famous
I guess you could
guy."
say, when he
Well,
first
he really
started.
wasn't
This is a lot
rebellious at
different now than
home,
when
so
he
I
first
really didn't know when he would
That's
leave
very true. It is
until
a lot
later
different.
that he was
And I
actually hanging out
I
and
wanted all
doing,
four of my boys to
you know,
be
doing
their
these
own
things.
person.
You know, we don't always
And
know what our children are
he
actually
was just
doing.
doing what he liked and what
We
he
try to
loved,
be
and
on top of
I
it, but
support
do
my
you
children
actually ever really know? So that's where
in
you
most
just pray
everything
that
they
your
do,
children are
but
making the right decisions
there again,
and
it's
are
just-
doing the right thing. Boy, I sure didn't like that music, and I just kept thinking and praying that maybe he would do something positive.
Okay.
And it actually really did. He put it aside.
What do you think changed for him to put it aside for a while?
Some things that actually happened in his life, which was pretty dramatic.
Mountain full of problems, step dead, die. Step back, take notes, something ain't right. Collecting up pride, wasn't seeing eye to eye. You have a life turn, people wanna ask why. I stepped up in the light, I took the right call. We had them times where you wanna fight, dog. I took it down the lane, but I ain't in the past. That's what it took, dog.
How you feel about his raw stories, and they are real as far as what his life has been like. What do you think about those and what he tells?
Yeah, we've had a rough 6 years, and it is what it is. He's telling the truth, and there definitely is other people out there that can relate. So he's right on track on telling it exactly like it happened, and somebody can relate to it, and hopefully through Christ and these stories, people will come forth and open their hearts and ask Christ to come into their life.
What you know about the struggle? I'm a boss. I'm a brother of the same. What you know about the struggle? I'm a boss. I'm a brother of the same. What you know about the struggle? I'm a boss. I'm a brother of the same. What you know about the struggle? I'm a boss. I'm a brother of the same.
So when he went through the phase where he let it go and set it aside and was going through all the things he was going through, and you were praying for him, and you were praying for him, like you said, to do things good and, you know, for him to make a difference, what did you notice when he started picking it back up again? What was the difference?
We didn't start picking it back up until he rededicated his life to Christ.
Okay.
And then he changed his music.
So now he has no cussing in his new stuff and his second CD. And what do you think inspired him to have that? Because he realized he had what?
Yeah, Christ.
And did he have anything else or anybody else that inspired him to be a better influence?
We definitely had his grandmother, for sure. And I always want to think that maybe, you know, I had a good influence on my son too. You know, he's got some mentors, and he's got the grandkids, the ones that I'm raising that been living with us.
And so with him, he wants to like have music they can listen to as far as that goes. like you said.
Absolutely.
What you
So
know
with
about the
him
struggle? I'm a
doing that
boss.
and
I'm a
changing,
brother of the
because I said earlier, he thought it would be a fad.
What you know
You
about
know,
the
that he
struggle?
would grow out of it, his old stuff, but now
I'm
that
a
he
brother
has
of
his
the
new stuff and things like that, he hopes
What
to
you
stay
know
true to
about the
himself.
struggle? I'm a boss.
Oh yes, absolutely. He's touching so many lives and so many hearts. And he even keeps me in check. And I I just thank God every day that he's such a blessing. I mean, everybody that comes in contact with him, I mean, it's almost like you see this angel like around him, this halo. It's just, I just can't even explain it. When you first meet him, you just know. And you know, we all want to be Christ-like. And he is.
What you know about the struggle? I'm a boss. I'm a brother of the same. What you know about the struggle? I'm a boss. I'm a brother of the same. What you know about the struggle?
But for me and my team, this is more than hip-hop music. When I go into detention, I don't let them know I make music because you're going to look at me different. I'm here to be a teacher. I'm here to serve God. But I enjoy hip-hop. Let's go.
What do you think is his greatest spiritual gift that he shares?
He definitely is a prayer warrior. His prayer is so powerful. When he prays, the Holy Spirit is definitely in the room with this young man.
Sometimes do you think that since he is a prayer warrior, he has that spirit of discernment when he knows that things are kind of like, no, this is not right, and he'll keep it in check? And
The love that this man has
we as
to
people,
share
when we're
about
told those
Jesus
things, don't want to
Christ.
hear it, but
It's
then we
just
come
so
back again later and like, you were right.
In
Yes,
my heart, and I know
yeah,
he's touched
that
a lot
absolutely
of
happens with
other
him,
people,
for
too.
sure.
Have you seen any of his prayers that he prays come to pass?
Yes, I have.
What would be your most memorable one that you would say is an absolutely glorification of God?
He has a dog named Diesel, and we took this dog to 3 different vets, and they told us all just to put this dog down. And it may be a dog to some people, but to us, he was our furry kid. He was a member of the family. And Levi literally stayed up with this dog all night and prayed for this dog all night long. The next day we take it to another vet, and they told us the same thing, and Levi said, would you just try? Would you just please try to help? And so they put the dog on the IV, started giving this dog medicine, and Levi continued praying, and this dog is healthy. We still have him, and we're praising God.
So when Levi told you he wanted to no longer be anonymous and become actually who God's called him to be, what did you think about that?
When he put the post and he asked that question, my response to him was, if you're asking the question, you already know the answer. And I actually was thrilled to death that he wanted to do that.
You know, when were you kind of wanting that to happen?
When the time was right and when he was ready, and when he said it, I never got overjoyed and just jumped out there and told him that I was happy about it or told anybody else. But I was, but I never shared that. But inside as a mother, I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna change his, his stage name and just let it be his name, which is the name that his father and I picked for him, for us to call him through his whole life while he's here on earth. This is the name God chose for us to name him.
Well, in the word it says, he called you by your name. And he calls us by our name when we're in the womb. And so that's one of the things, like, with him coming out and seeing he's no longer anonymous in the world. What do you think that's going to change for him when he really can be who he knows he's been called to be? Not what we see him as, but what he sees himself as.
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of great things going on with this young man. I am so glad that he decided to do that, and I just know that God's just going to bless him unimaginable. we just can't even imagine. I just think that people just, I don't know, I don't even know what to say because I just get so excited inside just thinking about it.
But it shows the growth and where he's come from even in that. What are your hopes for this new album coming out? For anybody that hears it, anybody that has a thought of, oh, it's just rap music or it's just Christian hip hop or whatever. What is your hope for people to get from this?
I hope that people can find peace and healing and know that they're not alone, that there is definitely someone walking in their shoes. And yes, we've been there, and that through his music and God's Holy Spirit that there'll be so many people saved and souls not lost. I mean, we all just got to keep praying.
So if there's anything that you've ever wanted to say to him that you have not said before, on your own level, what would you want to say to him? Between you and him.
I would want to tell him how proud I am of him, and I'm so glad that God chose me to be his mother. That what a special baby and a young child, an amazing young man he has become. And I thank God every day for you. He's making a difference in a lot of lives, including mine. And I'm just his mother.
What would you want to tell him as far as what you hope for him in the future?
But God tells us that he'll give us the desires of our heart, and I pray that he does receive those in full blessing.
So when people say, there's Blue, or, oh, that's anonymous Blue, who do you say he is?
He's my baby.
And what is his name?
Levi Joseph Blue.
There you go. Okay, so my stage name is Anonymous Blue, but you call me Levi, that's my real name. So I'm going to announce this for y'all. I'm actually going to drop the Anonymous and just go by my real name, Levi Blue.
I'm going to answer some of these.
In her heart, a smile on her face, tears white from my eyes, she can feel in place. It's what I want from my mama, raising 4 kids. Yeah, picture that she got married, she was 16, she had her first child. She grew up too fast and the walls start to pile. She had a second child, yeah, Brenda's got a baby. It was like yesterday, 13 crazy. She was just a child, she buried her mama, and then she played mama, and that is just for starters. 5:30 in the morning, the time seemed endless. She woke her brothers up and cooked her daddy breakfast. She got herself ready on the bus, 7:30, same thing every day. You know that she hurting. What a time gone, a childhood gone.